Rock stars, Eric Andreas here for the 30-day guitar challenge, day 26. If it looks like I'm a little confused, I'm just had a late night last night, and yeah. So here we go, friends. Day 26 of the 30-day guitar challenge. I'm so glad that you guys are with me today. We're gonna have a blast today. I'm gonna be getting to your questions. The beginner lesson, we're going to talk about Guitar Care 101. And for the second part of the hour here, we're going to talk about harmonics. So for our intermediate advanced section, we're going to be talking about harmonics, not just the typical 5, 7, 12 harmonics, but I'm going to be showing you a cool little trick to actually play harmonics all over the neck, okay? You're going to like this. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to learn some stuff, okay? All right, friends, this is how it's going to go. Link below. The very first link below is going to give you access to the PDF, which is going to give you access to our syllabi. This is the beginner section. This is the advanced section. And as promised, 2 hours of live every single day during the month of April. And the first hour, I'm walking you through the Unstoppable Guitar System Standard, which I'm giving you guys for free today. The second link below, okay? Second link below will give you access to that. But if you're in already, and you want to get to the advanced stuff, you want to get to the pro stuff, the 1,000-something videos that we have in there, that's pro, okay? But nonetheless, take advantage of the free course that I have for you today, the Unstoppable Guitar System Standard, by far the most important lessons that you will ever learn, bar none. People say all the time, why do you give those away then, Eric? Why do that? Because the beginner lessons, those fundamental, foundational lessons are the most important lessons that you're ever going to experience. And they're going to carry you for 80% of what it is that you do on guitar. So you might as well learn it in order, you might as well learn it right, and you might as well learn from someone who you resonate with. If I resonate with you. If I don't, then don't go there. Don't get that free course. But if I do, hit that link, okay? Or visit me here in Nashville. It'll cost well over $1,000 to go over those same exact lessons that you can get for free right now, okay? Second link below, UGS Standard. All right, my friends, here we go. Before we start, if you would, thumb this video up. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and also share it. There's a share button right next to that thumb, or kind of close to it. Do that, if you would, please, and then subscribe if you like these videos. Rob, why always coming through with these donations. So kind, Rob. I so appreciate it. Thank you, Eric and crew, for all you're doing for us. I'm so grateful for you, your crew, and your family. Thank you so much, and I'm very thankful to my family and my crew as well. They're always there for me. So thank you, Rob. That does not, I don't take that lightly. The donations are really helping during this time, especially we got the studio and everybody's still getting paid, and yeah. So it is very helpful, and I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. All right, let's get into some care, shall we? Some guitar care. You don't have to know a ton about guitars, especially in the beginning, right? We're just learning this stuff here. We want to take care of the stuff that's most important. Pareto's rule, right? 20%. If you learn the right 20% of stuff, it'll yield 80% of what it is that you are trying to do. This is true for everything, just about everything. Not with brain surgery, though. You want to make sure that you got somebody who knows it all, okay, for brain surgery. But if you were going to have someone do brain surgery, I would go with someone who knows the fundamentals really well before someone who says they know everything, but then they're kind of shaky about the fundamentals. You know, things like being anesthetized and what have you before they cut into your skull. Like, that's pretty important, okay? Very important. All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about Guitar Care 101. I'm feeling weird this morning. There's a few things that you need to be aware of when you're talking about taking care of your guitar. Making sure that it's always in a stand and never just laying on a couch. Now, if this were an expensive guitar, then I wouldn't leave it laying on a couch like this for some fat cat to go walk on. We're in different circumstances right now, okay? So this guitar is fine here. I know pretty much what it's going to take, and I know that the cats aren't going to walk on it too much. But right now I don't have a stand sitting here. Limited. Yes. It's my son. Yeah, buddy, I'm in a live broadcast. All right. So here's the deal. There's a few things that we need to be aware of. Number one is we need to have our guitar in a place that's safe. Safe from falling. You know, if we're hanging on the wall, that's okay. People ask all the time, is that okay? Is that going to warp the neck? Nope. You go into Groon and they have $15,000, $20,000, $50,000 guitars hanging on the wall by the neck, okay? It's not going to harm the guitar. People also say, should I relieve the pressure on my guitar? Should I loosen the strings when I'm storing my guitar? No, there's no need to do that. So the answer is no, okay? But there's a few things that we do need to do for our guitar. Julia, thank you so much. Thanks for sharing all of this and the fellowship too. So kind, Julia, and that's so very generous. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Means so much to us. Couple things, three things. Let's talk about where we're going to put the guitar. So a guitar in its case is obviously going to be safer than it sitting in a stand. Sitting on the wall or in a stand on the wall, right? A hanger is going to be safer than putting it in a stand. When it's in a stand, my little guy comes along all the time, just like your little guy does, right? Little girl, and twists the tuning pegs of the guitar. Breaks strings, whatever. Now that they're touching the guitar, there's a good chance of it falling over. So it's safest in the case, then on the wall, then in a stand, right? And then on a couch, and then leaning up against the couch, in that order. Don't do that, okay? We got to make sure that that guitar is not thrown over, right? Because literally, I've had students not take care of their guitar. I had one student specifically come in all the time. He had a Les Paul, and he had a soft case, and he would zip it up from the top to the bottom, which is also a no-no, by the way, because it'll jostle around and will slip right out the hole at the bottom. But if you zip it up to the top, now the hole's at the top, it's not going to slip out the top, right? He did this all the time. Of course, me being an adult, I don't know anything. He was 15 or so he knew everything. And I said, buddy, I said, don't do that. I know it seems like a big deal or a little deal, but I promise you it's not. And I'd tell him every single time he came in, buddy, don't do that. Zip it up to the top. And he'd be like, oh, yeah, you're right. Swear to God, he walks in for his lesson one day. Not only does he hit my widescreen TV with widescreen TV. It's known as a TV now, by the way. He hits my widescreen TV at the time, right, which was expensive. Doesn't break it, but comes really close. His Les Paul falls out of his soft shell case right at the hole in the bottom where he zipped it down to, which I told him dozens of times before, don't do that. The Les Paul falls out of the case, as Les Pauls do, since they have that arc right here, they're a little bit weak. Falls down, snaps right there, snaps his neck in half, and he goes, oh, guess what? He learned the lesson that day, and he never again zipped his case down to the bottom. He zipped it up to the top. So this stuff really does happen, okay? So make sure that the guitar is someplace where it's safe, okay? Case first, then on the wall, then in a stand, then on a couch or something like that, then leaning up against the couch. The last two, let's not do that so much, okay? Okay, so that's really important. Two other things that are uber important are temperature and humidity. We can talk about some other bits too here, and I'll get your questions in just a moment. But temperature and humidity. The temperature of your guitar should not exceed what your baby or your pet or you would like. So if it's 100 degrees out and you got the windows up, your dog shouldn't be in that car any more than you should be in that car. Your guitar shouldn't be in that car any more than your dog or your cat or you should be in that car. That's very dangerous. For a split second, maybe not, but for anything more than that, it can be very dangerous. Your guitar can warp, the finish can crack. you can permanently damage your guitar by having it in temperatures that are too cold or too hot, especially when it happens very quickly. Now, not so much when you're going from a hot environment to a cold environment, but from cold to hot definitely can happen. Hot to cold could happen. What I'm saying is this: if your guitar is warmed up, let's say you didn't listen to me and you by mistake left your guitar in the car in the heat in the middle of the day, now it's really warm, and you bring it into a cold environment, you open it up right away, now you're really forcing the instrument to cool down very quickly. Not a good idea. Same thing the other way around. A buddy of mine, in fact a buddy who I bought my 69 SG from, he had a 1952 or 57 Strat that he gigged with, and they were in North Dakota or something like that. They were driving around in the van. The guitar got really, really, really cold. They went into the hotel room where it was nice and warm. He said it was like sub temperatures. They bring their instruments out of the van, good idea. They bring them into the hotel room. He opens up the case right away and said he literally saw the surface of the guitar crack all over. It's called checking, like writing a check. Checked the whole guitar, 1952 or 55 or 57. It was an old Strat, okay? And anyhow, all that to say, that might have lowered the price of his guitar now if you wanted to buy it by tens of thousands of dollars. It can also physically ruin your guitar. The elements can physically ruin your guitar. So temperatures don't so much, they can ruin your guitar. They can pull the bridge off, especially like on an acoustic. On electrics, not so much. But humidity indeed can harm your guitar. Too much humidity, not enough humidity. So the general range between 45 and 55% humidity is a good rule of thumb for guitars. It can dip below that, it can go above that, but if it stays like that for too long, you can run into issues, specifically when you're talking about acoustic instruments. See, electric instruments like this are solid. You have a solid body, right? And it's fairly thick. So the elements, especially moisture, are not going to get in there as quickly, okay? However, if you had an acoustic guitar where it's very thin and it's more like a box and the air gets into that sound hole, the moisture or the dry air gets into that and it dries the guitar out. Now we're having problems because wood has moisture in it, and so when it gets pulled out, it starts becoming brittle. Usually sounds better, but it also starts becoming more brittle. So I've seen guitars where the bridge actually comes off of the guitar, usually only in the really older instruments that are worth tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars. So only the older instruments. No, it'll do it with newer instruments as well, but nonetheless, you want to keep that humidity 45 to 55. If you're in a dry climate, you want to take that guitar and you either want to keep it in a case with some sort of humidifier, which they have these. They're in my store. There's a link for that below. Look for something about gear near the very bottom there. You can go to my store and I have some of these devices, this technology that'll help you keep your guitar moist or keep it in the right place. If you're in a dry environment, you want to do that, or keep the guitar in a room that's humid, right? Close the doors off, put a humidifier in that room. Usually you can't humidify a whole house. If you're living in Arizona, you're fighting nature, right? You're fighting the sun. You got this little, I don't care how many watt humidifier it is, it's probably gonna be working hard against the sun and the elements, okay? But you do want to do that. So put it in a room, close the doors, get a hydrometer, I think that's how you pronounce that. Nonetheless, it is a device that measures humidity and it will tell you the range that you're supposed to be at, okay? Or it'll tell you the range that you're at and you get it to where it should be at with your humidifiers or dehumidifiers. So I have both in the house. Hydrometer, yes, hydrometer, thank you. I think it is with the G, but I think it's still pronounced drometer, okay? Anyhow, if you live in an environment where it's too humid, Florida, Tennessee during the summer, you would want to get a dehumidifier. So we have both. We've got dehumidifiers, we've got humidifiers. So if it goes, say, above, I have mine set to kick in at about 55, 60, something like that, to dehumidify the air. In the winter, it's pretty dry here, so like we humidify the air then, okay? It's kind of a pain in the butt, but long term, if you want your guitar to remain comfortable and you don't want it to fall apart because of the elements, that's what you want to do, okay? People will ask today yet to like, what do I put on my guitar? Do I put fast fret? Do I put lemon oil? Do I put all of these solvents and stuff on my guitar? Or not solvents, but solutions and what have you. And I don't. I leave that up to my guitar tech, and he's very limited about it too. I used to put lemon oil on the neck because I was told if I don't do that, the neck will split and what have you. Not necessarily true. And there's also something called guitar honey, which is what I use now. And that will moisten the neck a little bit, right? And I've seen the fretboards split a little bit, but bottom line, if you're keeping it at the humidity it needs to be at, there's not really a need for that. As far as cleaning the guitar, I just like to use just a little bit of water and a fine cloth and buff it out. But honestly, I like the patina of these old guitars. Like if you look at the back of the neck here, this has some, some kind of just patina fret goo, finger goo from playing. It gives character to the instrument so it doesn't look like a brand new instrument. If you want it to look like a brand new instrument, then you'll want to clean it up. But I don't like to do that personally. Just don't like it. I like that older look, All right, Coolio. Those are the basics there that I wanted to tell you about. Those are literally, keep it from falling down, breaking the neck, keep the temperature at a decent place, keep the humidity at a decent place. All right, amazing. Let's dig in. 55 years old, right? No, it's older than that, isn't it? No, that's right. 55 years old. You're right. Yeah, 55, huh? Okay, let's dig into some questions until noon, and then we'll get to our advanced lesson, intermediate advanced lesson, where we're talking about harmonics, and we're talking about them all over the neck. Ooh, but that can't be done. It can be. I'm going to show you. It's amazing. It's fun. Galaxy, I do not do my own setups. I used to when I had less money and more time. Now I'm busier, so I would say I still have the same amount of time, but I'm busier as a person now, so it makes more sense for me to pay someone to do it and for me to continue on making vids and that sort of thing. But you can do it yourself. Just do a little research or do a lot of research. You can get really good at this, or you can jack your guitar up. Usually, you won't break your guitar, but you can get it all cattywampus so it doesn't play very well too. Okay, let's get to some questions. Is it necessary to untune the guitar when not in use? Fully untune or 2 rounds untune? No, you do not have to do that. I have a question. If I'm playing pentatonic scales in the key of C minor on the 6th string, which fret should I be playing if I have a capo on the 2nd fret? I have a question. If I'm playing the pentatonic scale in the key of C minor on the 6th strings, which fret should I be playing if I have a capo? I'm sorry, my friend. The way that you phrase that, it's all over the place. So I can't accurately answer that. So it sounds like, though, that you need some basics. I know this. I know the way people ask questions. You don't have the basics down. Start in the Unstoppable Guitar System Standard. Get through that first, because there's not a particular fret that you should play on, and you don't need the capo to do this either. So there's lots of things that I see that's kind of a little bit wacky about that question. But you got to get some basics down. Start at UGS Standard, second link below. It's going to give you access to that. Guitar tech guy at the music store. Yeah, a guitar luthier, someone who does this for a living. They're really good at what they do. And my guitar tech knows way more about setting up a guitar and intonation and everything than I do. Way more. That's why I rely on him to do that. What about a 12-string guitar? Should you take tension off the strings if storing? Brandon is saying. Brandon, you could release it a little bit. Some people actually keep their 12 strings down a half step or a whole step anyhow because of that. It is a lot of tension on the neck. But if the guitar is built properly and it's kept at the proper humidity and temperature levels, then you shouldn't have a problem with it. That said, depends on how long you're storing it. If you're storing it for a year, yeah, you might want to give a little bit of tension release, but I wouldn't just completely tune the strings down, because now your neck's going to really start getting relieved, which sounds like it's a good thing, but then when you go back to tune it up, it's going to want to go back to equilibrium, and you're going to have issues with the neck bending the other way. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of doing that. Okay, thank you, Willie. Yeah, good place to learn maintenance is in Module 2 of the beginner section of UGS. There's an entire maintenance module. There is, yes. Thank you, Willie, for reminding me, because we've got a lot of videos in there. And I actually invited my guitar tech, Greg Ellis, to do this. So we have actually a couple courses inside of UGS. One we did on general guitar maintenance and care and restringing the guitar and that sort of thing. And then another one we did is the ultimate pursuit of tone, where we talk about picks, strings, pickups, tone woods, the lead to your amplifier, the pedals, the types of pedals, the types of cables in between your pedals, the type of amp you're using, tubes, solid state. We even talk about types of tubes, the speaker you're using. We talk about the whole enchilada, and all these little bits and pieces add to your sound, just like a recipe. If you buy, standard food, if you buy non-GMO food, if you buy organic food, all those three things are going to taste different. If you add certain spices to it, it's going to taste different. If you heat up certain foods to a certain degree as opposed to another one, they're going to taste different. So there's lots of little bits that are involved in this, okay? Darren's saying, can you explain the G clef and its relationship to the guitar and visually illustrate if possible? Darren, so when we're talking about, standard musical notation, which is, well, let's go over this here real quick. Watch this. You've seen this before, right? This is your staff right here. It goes like this. Every good boy does fine. You've seen that before, right? Every good boy does fine. And then in between then are the spaces. So they say every good boy does fine on the lines. These are lines. Every good boy does fine. And face in the space. So inside the spaces here, in between the lines, is the word face. And if you think about it, all right, we back? I think we're back. We're back. This is what YouTube does, yeah. Now we're down. Okay, now we're down. Now we're up. Now we're down. Now we're up. All right, so E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. It just fun with YouTube. Okay. Refresh again. Here we go. I apologize. It's out of my hands. This is the fun of YouTube, right? Okay, so this is what we use for musical notation for guitar. And then we have ledger lines above that, right? So as the scale extends, and then we also have it low, going lower. I have a whole book on this on Amazon. In fact, I have several books on Amazon. If you YouTube, or if you Google Eric Andreas Amazon, you'll get access to my books. You'll see them there. And if you have Kindle, I provide them for free for you. If you have Kindle Unlimited. All right. Thrash Metal saying, don't touch the truss rod if you don't know what you're doing. 100%. The truss rod, sometimes, on Gibsons, there'll be a plate here. On Strats, you would adjust them down here. Someone already dorked with this, and you can see there's like kind of somebody went in there with something and kind of chipped away at the $2,500 pick guard. What? Yeah, well, when 1965, whoever had the guitar, and they're not thinking about, hey, Eric Andreas is going to be using this in 55 years from now. They just kind of went in there and adjusted the guitar the way they wanted. But more than that, you can also adjust the pitch of the neck in a way that you may not like later on. So just be careful of that. Okay? Gotta love YouTube going down so much. Boy, goodness gracious. Okay, I can't even look there. All right, learn to read music for violin. I'll take tab for guitar any day. Yeah, but Joan, if you know how to read musical notation already, then great, good for you. And it'll be so much easier for you because you know how to read it. Now you just need to convert it to the guitar. And trust me, it will be so much easier. You won't realize that it's easier, but if you had, because you are where you're at, right? You only know what you know. You don't know what you don't know. So you're going to be where you are, but it will come easier to you than somebody who hasn't done that before. So, but yes, tablature is super easy to do. In fact, I created a new video yesterday for the Unstoppable Guitar System because Mike, who's part of our YGS staff, created new PDFs. He's creating new PDFs for the course right now, and I did a new video for that. But tablature is super easy to learn. All right, good. I've owned this Strat for maybe about 7 years now. So Monica is saying what to do differently with the hand when it feels like you can't reach a note to form a chord. What to do differently. Okay, yes, let's talk about it. So now, so much of this stuff is covered in the free course that I'm giving you, and I implore you to do this. I'm not getting anything out of it, so I'm not doing it for me. So for those of you that have that real analytical mind that doesn't let stuff through, what's he up to? I'm giving you a free course. That's what I'm up to. That's the dirty business I'm up to, is giving you a free course. All right, but seriously, if you want to know this stuff and you really truly want to know it, then get in that course. The second link below. It's going to tell you more than what I'm going to be able to tell you right now. But dropping that thumb behind the neck, the back, oh dear God, behind the back of the neck. Taking your thumb and dropping it behind the back of the neck is going to give you more access to your chord. It means you're going to be able to reach stuff easier. If your thumb is back here, you're going to be really limited in what you can grab. Now, a lot of people don't like dropping their thumb behind the back of the neck because we're doing this pressure, right? Which is great if we're doing a puppet show, but this also makes these muscles kind of weak. There's Bedford. He wants to be part of the show. Come on, Bedford, chill out, bro. So even though you really want to do that with your hand in that way that I just mentioned, it's tiring. Okay, so this is why most guitar players who've been playing a while and they're going to be playing on stage all night or whatever, they bring their thumb over the top of the neck and it feels more comfortable anyhow. They can do it longer, okay? So just remember that. Hey, Beebs, what's up, bro? I'm in a live broadcast here. Can you just chill for a minute? Okay. Okay, someone's saying PDFs. I'm not seeing the PDF for your 9 essential chords lesson. Alvin, you have to be in the course. It's the second link below. You have to be in UGS standard, and then I have all of those PDFs inside that course for you, but you won't see them unless you're in the course. The only two links that I'm directing you to right now is the first one below, which is giving you access to what it is we're doing this month. It's more like a directory. And then the second link is going to give you access to UGS standard for free, okay? Monica is in the program now. Beautiful. Monica, this will make sense to you. We got to start at step 1. Everybody who's ever played guitar has always started at step one. If you think it's otherwise, then you're just thinking untruth. It's just not true. Everybody has to start at step one. There's no skipping a step. If you do skip a step, just like if you skip a grade, you're jumping over that grade. You don't get to skip the grade and get all the information from it, right? So don't skip any of this stuff because it's the most fundamental. It's the stuff that is absolutely going to build your foundation. And without it, you're missing the best lessons ever. The ones that you're going to use the most. Okay? Stevie Ray Vaughan was a thumb master. Yeah, he brought his thumb over the top of the neck, just like John Frusciante, Jimi Hendrix, etc. All right. Behind the back of the neck. I know. I don't understand why I'm doing that. All right. Alvin saying, I can't find the PDFs when logged into UGS either. Alvin, they're there. Make sure you watch the welcome video. I create every video in that course to guide you. If you skip over the welcome video, then you won't know where the PDFs are. And if you're clicking on the PDF inside of the program and it's not downloading, that means there's something up with your system. I would suggest update your browser, because we have literally hundreds of thousands of people in that course. So they're downloading that PDF, so it's for sure on your end. They're there. Or try another browser. This is a great question. Murray's saying, Eric, how do you pack your guitar for air travel? Do you carry it on? Murray, if it's any one of my expensive guitars, I will carry it on and store it above. And I always try to get in A or B, right? Because I always travel Southwest typically, so I always try to get in the first sections there and right away logging in and getting on that first bit there so that I can store it up. I don't like to store it underneath the plane. I've had to do it a couple times. It makes me really nervous. They don't vouch for it. I would never travel with this thing unless it was going above, and it's not always guaranteed. So, you could do like John Bonamassa does, and he has it sitting right next to him. He also probably doesn't like to talk to people, so I think that's probably why he does it. And he'll strap it right next to him, just like that. In the guitar case, he'll strap it down right next to him. If you got the money to do it, that's what you want to do. Otherwise, I'll travel with a cheaper guitar, and then I will store it in the bottom, and if it breaks, which it never has yet, then no foul. If it's a $300 guitar or something like that, then it's not the biggest deal in the world. I might travel like with my orange wood or something like that. It's a fantastic guitar, by the way. It's just affordable. So if it breaks, then I would get another one. Dave's saying, is there an optimal humidity percentage for guitars? Yeah, 45 to 55 is the going, bit that is a good place to keep your guitar in that area there. All right. Oh, beautiful, Rodney. I love this. Eric, I was having a heck of a time with the guitar until I started watching your videos. Beautiful. Thank you, Rodney. Thanks for the testimony. I appreciate that. How about guitar care daily after playing? Soft cloth, string cleaners for neck, wood, etc. Galaxy, I don't use any of that stuff. And my guitars work great. They work fine. The strings sound great. So I've just never found a need for it. I'm a big fan of not doing something, not fixing something unless it's broken. So me personally, I think a lot of those things they're just not needed. In the beginning, I think as a guitar player, you like to dicker around with things and be close to the guitar and touch it and feel it and smell it and all that stuff. And then after some time, you kind of get used to it. And so I don't do any of that stuff. In the beginning, I did. I would be, like looking at my guitar and cleaning in between the frets. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's cool. You're bonding with your guitar just like you would a new love or a pet or something. There's nothing wrong with that. But I don't think that for me, I just don't use them ever, and I don't have a need for it, you know? What interface or effects pedals are you using? I'm using a Kemper profile amp right now. I've got many amps, tube amps, mainly tube amps. I have some solid state amps. I have all sorts of effects, but I keep gravitating back to the Kemper. It's just a little lunchbox of joy. It's the size of a very big lunchbox, and I can do anything I want with that thing. I flippin' love it. Flippin' love it. B has a question. How often do you change your strings? Or when was the last time you did change them? B. So typically, I don't change strings unless I have to. If I break a string, if I'm going in the studio, if I'm going to play live, then I will change the strings on that specific guitar that I'm going to be playing live or going to the studio with. However, right now, the last few years, I've been focusing all of my energy on teaching, creating the Unstoppable Guitar System, building that up, YouTube videos, all that. My students is what I've been focusing on. So I haven't been playing out live, and I haven't been playing in the studio. I've been literally just creating content. And because of that, there hasn't been much of a need for me to change my strings. And so I don't change my strings unless I have to. That being said, maybe about a year ago, I called Greg Ellis, my guitar tech, and I said, buddy, I want to get some sort of maintenance program. I have so many guitars, little tweaks that need to be done with them, but it's not, I don't want to constantly call you about this or that needs to be done on the guitar. And he says, why don't I do what I do for all my, rock stars and country stars here in the area, and I'll just come by to the studio twice a year, get everything set up, restring the guitars, and you won't ever have to worry about it. And I said, oh, that's what I want. So that's what he does. So in the spring here, probably would have done it already if it weren't for the situation at hand right now, but probably in May, I'm gonna have him down to the studio. He's gonna restring all my guitars. He's gonna tweak them, make them all, playing like race cars again, and then I'm good for another 6 months or so until the weather changes. So that's what I do, and I love that. What do I think of the Black Star practice amp? It's a great practice amp. You know me, I'm a big fan of Black Star amps. Some of the best amps that I've ever played. In fact, my favorite, and I've owned, Marshall and Mesa Boogie, and not that it matters because it's just one other person's opinion. So if you ask any of the other guys that are on my show, any of the other guys and gals that are on my show, they're going to have a different favorite amp. So again, it's just subjective. But for me, I love my Black Star Soloist 60. I love that guitar. Straight out of the box, amazing sound. That thing crunches. It could overpower a band. It's so loud. Clean channel, dirty channel, lead channel, reverb, effects loop. One 12-inch speaker. It's a little bit heavy, but it's loud. It's so loud. 60 watts, so 3 times as loud as my Blues Junior, which is loud, super loud amp. So there's lots of headroom. How to exercise stretching fingers in guitar. Example, I play Every Breath You Take. Marcus, you playing Every Breath You Take is a great exercise, right? What I would suggest is, I've got exercises for you. Exercise number 3, search on YouTube, YourGuitarSage exercise number 3. I've got stretching exercises for you. But man, friends, listen to me. If you have a choice between playing a song, a solo, or an exercise, always go with the song solo, okay? Go with the song or the solo as opposed to the exercise. Now, there are times when certain exercises will pull you out of your mindset and force you to do a particular thing, which is good. It's what meditation does. It's what working out does. It's what lots of different things do, like disciplines, right? And those are good, especially if you're on a daily regimen like I have in 365. That's good as a supplement. But after you do that, it's all about the song. So this is a great stretching exercise. Why not do that, Playing some ninth chords, you know? Dear God, I've forgotten the song. I'm gonna slaughter your ears. I'm so sorry. Here we go. Message in a Bottle. That's ninth chords again. So these. Yeah, those are great exercises, and it sounds great. So, and chances are you're going to come up with something more melodic for yourself than if you were to just be playing exercises. Make sense? All right. Oh, look at this. Somebody flew with Sting and held his guitar. Special day, no doubt. That's really cool. Why was the fretboard video taken down? I'm not sure what you mean, the fretboard video. Why was the fretboard video taken down? Choopy wants in, and I know you want to see Choopy, so come on in, Choopy. The fretboard video taken down. I'm not sure which one you're talking about, my friend. I don't know. What fretboard video are you talking about? And yeah, on YouTube, let me know. Okay, also, if you would, with your questions, all caps with a question mark, please. I like that, thrash metal. A homeless carpenter once told me, nobody is better than you, but you're not better than anybody else. I love that. It's so true. It's like they say, I think Rumi said this, said something I'm slaughtering this, but it's something like, be exalted or something like that because you're made of the stuff of stars, which is true, right? Like every atom that's within us was once star material, but now, and for some of you, you're like, oh dear God, I never thought about that. That's blowing my mind. It blew my mind when I thought of it. Every bit of everything, from the grass to the cat to you and me to this guitar, was once part of some celestial something else. It was just star material, and then it's pretty amazing. Anyhow, so right, be exalted because you're made of the stuff of stars. Be humble because you're made of the dirt, and it's where we're going to return, right? At least our bodies will. Spirits will keep going. Oh no, thanks for the donation, my friend. Super kind. I love it. Super, super kind. Eric, I'm starting a band playing rhythm. Any tips? Michael, focus on the songs that you're doing. Come on up here, baby. Focus on the songs that you're doing. Don't focus on anything else. So for some time while you're playing with this band, work on every chord, work on every rhythm, get every song down perfectly. Because let's say you're going on stage and you're playing 20 songs. Make sure that you have those 20 songs down perfectly, because no one cares if you don't have the other songs that you're not playing live down. So if you know 50 songs, you're playing in front of people, make sure that you have the 20 down that you're performing. Get them down as perfectly as possible. Other than going through my course, just that's a real broad stroke to say any rhythm tips. Play with a metronome, play with the band a lot, that sort of thing. But just really get those tunes down. Eric, what kind of gear are you using for streaming? So I'm literally just using my Kemper and my 65 Strat for the tone today, and then I'm using my iPhone for the camera, which is plugged in. It's live. It's running over Wi-Fi. It's not even plugged into the router. And then for questions, I've got a computer, and I have a an iPad here. And then I have a couple external. So kind. And I think we dropped out again. Let's try this again. I think we dropped out again. And I think we're back again. The fun of YouTube. Okay, and if you missed it, Jim, I was thanking you. Thank you so much for the super kind donation and the super kind message. This has been fun. This has been a blast. Friends, we're on day 26, so it's only like 4 days left. What are we going to do when it's all done? It's like being at camp. I'll write to you. You write to me, okay? So kind. All right, YouTube up, YouTube down. YouTube up, YouTube down. Indeed, indeed. Yes, I see your message, Sal. For only those that are watching. Okay. No, I did mention Ono. I did mention his donation. Ono, thank you so much. Oh, Don gave a donation as well. Don, thank you so much. I'm so sorry I missed you. And Ono, thank you, buddy. Really, really kind. And then we just had another one just jump in just now. Michael, Carey, thank you, buddy. With a pair. Thank you, buddy. When I change strings on my guitars, it looks like a wrestling match. And Rick, I have videos for you on that. Okay, so YouTube, search Your Guitar Sage strings, and I'll show you how to change your strings. There is a way to do it that makes it easier and more effective, to where your guitar doesn't go out of tune as much, that sort of thing, okay? What do we do after the 30th day and we're still all stuck in our houses? Marco, hopefully we won't still all be stuck in our houses. I'm hoping we can move on here. But if we are, then I will figure something out and I will continue with you guys. I won't leave you hanging. But if we can get to the studio and we can start creating more videos for you, then I'd like to do that. Maybe we'll do both. We're just gonna have to play it by ear, okay? What's the longest I've ever went without playing your guitar? Wow. B. Went through a pretty crazy divorce in the early 2000, in 2000, somewhere around then. And that was a really rough time. I'm doing this because I just don't like to, I think that it's smart to label things and to be real light with the label. So for me, it was a very tough time. Back then it was. Now in retrospect, it was a great thing that I went through, and I'm glad that I went through it, and it was, and all the rest. I'm glad I'm on the other side of that and what have you. But during that time, it was a very trying time, and in court, fighting for custody for my kid and all that stuff, and that makes it to where your mental energy, and your creative energy is going to all these survival type areas, and it makes it to where you're not as much as creative, if you will, okay? And I don't know how long I went with not playing then, but it was quite some time. I was angry, and not rightfully so. It's because stuff happens in life, and you can, if you're prepared for it and what have you, and you're mentally prepared for it, you're prepared for it in your heart, then you can navigate stuff. And if you don't, then you won't. This is Choopy. This is Tux, and Bedford just came in too, so he may be coming in as well. Do I have a dog? No, I do not. I had 2 dogs, and they passed away. It's been some time now, though, but I'm a dog guy too. I'm an animal person. I love animals. A video of how you create a guitar video would be interesting. Jim, you're right. That would be interesting. We should do that. Mike, we should put that on the list. Mike and Emmy, we should put that on the list of what goes into making a guitar video. I think that would be a great idea, Jim. I love that. Love that idea. Gary, I don't have much to say about the old Stone Temple Pilots music. I liked what they did, but wasn't a giant fan. wasn't listening to a lot of that music in the 90s. I was listening more 80s stuff and 70s and 60s and what have you. It's like in the 90s there was some stuff that I listened to. It was more pop at that time actually though. And so I wasn't into Stone Temple that much. Randy, thank you so much for the kind donation. Finally, able to do bar chords. Thank you so much for leading us all in this journey. Beautiful friends. Number one, Randy, thank you so much for the kind donation. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for the testimony, right? There's a famous book that says they overcame the beast by their testimony, right? Meaning, someone's in the dark and they're like, oh, I don't know, I've always been depressed or what have you. And somebody says, I used to be depressed too, like me. I used to be depressed too. I'm not depressed anymore. I don't get depressed anymore. And what does that do? Well, that shines a light on someone who was depressed and now they're not depressed anymore. And it gives hope to the rest of us because if he can do it, then I can do it type of thing. So Randy, thank you for saying this. That gives other folks the knowledge and the wherewithal to understand that yes, they too can overcome bar chords or anything else, alcoholism or smoking or whatever, man. If one person could do it, a bazillion people can do it, right? Talk about it all the time, the 4-minute mile. Everybody said it was impossible. One dude did it. As soon as that one dude did it, a bunch of other people did it that year, and only because he broke the paradigm in their mind, not because he changed physics or something like that, okay? Make sense? Yes, sure it does. Another few donations coming in, right? I swear I saw another one. Oh, here, Paul. Paul, thank you so much. Fancy Feast for the kiddies. Ah, Fancy Feast. Ah, you get some extra treats. Thank you so much, Paul. Really kind, bud. Eric, I love Rush, but have only been playing 3 months. Any advice on tools or strategy to learn a few songs? They are so fast and complicated, but I want to go there, but beyond my skill right now. Skippy, I love that you said that. You said it in the right way. It's beyond my skill now, right now. Because Skippy knows that even though this is a passion to play like Rush, okay, so you have an example, you have a why, I want to play like that, I want to sound like that, but it's beyond me right now. Beautiful. Some people go, I'll never be able to play like that. They play too fast, okay? Well, again, I suck at Mandarin because I didn't grow up in China, not because I'm a dummy. There's 3-year-old Chinese kids who speak Mandarin all day long because they grow up in a house with that. So oddly enough, they're better at it because they practice it all the time. I say oddly enough, not oddly enough, right? So Skippy, good. Number one, love that you identify it. You're saying it that way. Start in the Unstoppable Guitar System Standard. Always start at step 1 with anything that you do. Any other thing is madness. It's insanity to start in the middle of something and to just like skip the most essential things. It's not only insane, it's dumb. Don't do it, right? Start in the free course, UGS Standard, second link below will give you access to that. Once you do that, Skippy, I teach you how to read tablature in there. Get on ultimate-guitar.com and start going through those songs, even if they're out of your expertise right now. If you slow it down, it's not so out of your expertise. Now you're playing those licks and you're like, oh, this is that song. You're playing it slow. It's okay. But you're still getting that thrill of playing it. I promise you, it is like a drug. It's like a good drug for you. It's amazing. So get to playing their songs right away. This is what excites you about guitar. So Skippy, Rush excites Skippy. Find out what excites you about guitar. Not Skippy, but everybody else. Find out what excites you about guitar and dig in, okay? Dig in to that specific artist because that will help you to stay in the game, okay? Strickland Garage is saying, was it hard setting up a YouTube channel so you can post videos? You do it so well. Thank you so much, Strickland. No, it's so easy. Everybody here who has a YouTube name, right? You already have an account, so it's really easy. You can take your phone, connect it to your YouTube, and you could create a video today. Now, are people going to watch it? Some people will, But the better you get at anything, right? The more you understand what people want. So I love helping people play guitar. So that's my thing. I'm not doing a lot of cooking on here. So I try to keep it, to things like playing guitar, improving yourself, that sort of thing. But whatever it is that you do, wherever your focus goes, it grows. That area grows. So if you put lots of YouTube channels, then it'll grow fast. If you put just one if you put lots of YouTube videos, your channel will grow. If you put one, it's not going to grow so much. It's just real basic math. So it's not hard at all setting that up. Not hard at all. You can do it. And chances are there's no one who's watching this right now who doesn't have something to tell the world. You have something special, just like somebody said earlier. A homeless carpenter said something, something to somebody, and they said, "You're no better than anybody else, and nobody's better than you." With that being said, we all have something to say. We all have something to share with the world, but we have to believe in ourselves that we do have that, and then get out there and do it. Faux show. Okay. Oh, I had another donation in here from Galaxy Gooner, Galaxy Gooner. Galaxy, we have seen you a lot in here. Thank you so much for the donation. Thanks, Eric, my wife. Thanks as well. Our family is 2 cats, 6 parrots, a turtle, and a fish. I love that. I take that back. I have had a bird before. I had a crow that we rescued as a baby. And did you know that crows talk? They're one of the most intelligent birds. So you probably know this, having parrots, but they're like minor birds. They're extremely smart. We did train ours to talk a little bit, and then we took it to a humane society. But they're really, really smart, and they can vocalize. Yeah, indeed. Ravens, crows. Wouldn't it be cool to get some crows and some ravens and to teach them how to talk and then let them go again? And teach them to just say crazy stuff like, "I'm watching you." I mean, just like literally, just you train one and that's all he says, "I'm watching you." And then you let him go, right? Or train him to say something like, or "God's watching you," or "Watch your step," or so many fun things. What else could you teach him to say? It'd be so fun. And then just let him go, just like a flock of them. God, that'd be so fun. Stu Boy, just because, rock on. Thank you, Stu Boy. Lee Eckhart, beautiful. Thanks so much for the donation, bud. Super kind. Dude, Galaxy Goner, we nursed a baby crow. Also, Edgar Allan Crow. Dude, I swear to God, whatever, swear to whoever, I swear that was the name of our crow, Edgar Allan Crow. We named him Edgar Allan Crow. He got knocked out again here. All right, we back? Refresh. All right, so fun. Yes, someone's asking about the Rewired series. I'm definitely going to continue to do that. I apologize, I missed it yesterday. Again, I've been talking about Joe Dispenza a lot recently here because I've been watching his Rewired series. I've loved Joe for years. He's an amazing dude. But I'm watching his Rewired series, and it's unbelievable what he teaches you about your own brain and your own body and your own chemistry. Friends, it is literally the key. Just like UGS standard is the key for you to understand how to play and understand the guitar in a full way. This Rewired series is amazing for teaching you how to get your brain and your body in alignment. Whoo, the science is amazing, amazing stuff. Watch it. Adrian, thank you so much. Eric, you taught me a lot of stuff, and I'm very confident regarding guitar right now. I recently posted the 3rd song on my channel. Thanks for the motivation. You're so welcome, and thank you, buddy. Super kind. All right, Choopy, we got to talk about harmonics now. You ready? Choopy, Tux back here. Bedford was here just a moment ago. Did I miss any other donations? No, I think that was it. Okay, beautiful. Gosh, you guys, thank you so much for the donations today. So very kind. All right, friends, second part of the hour is our intermediate advanced section now. We're going to be talking about harmonics, not just on the 5, 7, and 12, but all over the neck. Some really cool stuff. We're going to talk about this right now. So, for those of you, and this could be for beginners as well. It's nothing that's going to overwhelm you, okay? Even though I'm saying intermediate advanced, a lot of things I say like that, you still could learn. You're going to get the basic concepts of it. It's just, there's other stuff to focus on as a beginner first, okay? In my opinion. But you're here, so let's do this, okay? If you have just come for the intermediate advanced lesson, welcome. Please hit thumbs up if you have not already. And also share this video if you have not already. And hit subscribe and that notification bell if you have not already. And my gosh. We back? Dear Lord, we're back again. My goodness. F5. Thanks. Is it F5 for refresh? Beautiful. David, thank you so much for the donation. I got to say it really quickly. It's unbelievable how many times we're going down here. Not cool. Not cool, YouTube. Beautiful. Thank you for the kind donation, David. Beautiful. All right, let's talk about some harmonics. Harmonics are natural places on the neck where the note resonates in a special way, basically. And it sounds like a chime. Sounds like this. Right? 5, 7, 9 are the places that people say, oh, well, those are where harmonics are. In actuality, harmonics are all over the neck. Listen to this. Okay, so we're hearing harmonics all over the neck because it's true, they're there. Right? Okay? Now, even though 5, 7, and 12 are the places that those harmonics ring out the most, there's other ways to play harmonics. Now, when we pick a low E string, and then we take our first finger, or take any finger, put it over the 12th fret. Now, when I say over the 12th fret, I mean the fret wire. Dear Lord in heaven above, come on. I want you at the 12th fret here, you take your finger and you put it over the fret, you know, the wire. Not here, where you normally would play, because you're not actually playing for this one. What you're doing is you're putting your finger above the fret wire. If you're over here, it's not going to sound very good. Listen. Now watch over the fret. So when you're directly over that fret wire, it's going to sound good. So you can do this on an acoustic, you can do this on an electric, you can do it with overdrive, with a clean sound. Now the more overdrive you have, obviously it's going to accentuate those harmonics, literally the harmonics of the harmonics. So this is a note, but it has harmonics, which are basically overtones. So when you're playing a harmonic, if you have lots of overdrive, and then you do that, it's going to sound really cool. Clean, they're not as loud. Okay? Now, you can do this, and these harmonics will sound out very loud over the 12th fret. Pay your IP bill, Neil is saying. It's paid, buddy. I'm paying for it here. I'm paying for it at the office. and I'm paying lots of money for it, like nearly $400. So yeah, I should be getting my money back. No, I don't think it's on this end. I think it's just YouTube. YouTube, I'm pretty sure. But thank you for the donation. Super kind, my buddy. All right, so, 7th fret. Notice I'm not here. No sound there. But over the fret wire. And you don't actually... Right? Also the 5th fret here. Okay? Now, with that being said, which by the way, I'm seeing when we're dropping out, so I'm not going to continue the lesson while we're dropped out. So you're not missing anything, okay? Just remember. Okay, so I'm not going to skip anything. Jimmy, thank you so much for the donation. Eric, your lessons have inspired me to continue playing after 40-year absence. Keep challenging us. Beautiful, Jimmy, and thank you so much for your testimony. Thank you so much for saying that. That means a lot, and that excites me because, again, I dedicated myself to helping others play years ago, and this is I get jazzed by that more so than my own playing improving. I like it, but helping other people get to that next level, I love that. So Jimmy, thank you so much. Super kind, and that's very that it's all possible, right? Okay, now let's do this. Now I said to you that I'm going to show you how to do this all over the neck. Now there are other places, like for instance the 12th or the 2nd fret right here. Right? In Crazy Train, where he's going, this is on. I don't even know if we're live. Are we live? Now we're live again. Dear Lord, with this. All right, so here we go. Watch this. That's the 2nd fret. But it's not as easy. That one rings out for forever. This one, it's just real small. But it's there. There's something there, right? Right? Now, I mentioned to you that we can do this all over the neck. How would we do that? Number one, Brian, thanks for the donation, buddy. Super kind. Super kind. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anything that you do down here, chords, scales, anything, can be done further up the neck. We mentioned this. I mention this all the time. We can also do harmonics based off of this. Now, 5, 7, and 12 are the ones that come out the loudest. So those are the ones we're going to emphasize today. Otherwise, there are harmonics everywhere, okay? Just remember that. But 5, 7, and 12 are the ones that really sound out, and specifically 7 and 12 really sound out. So what you can do is if I'm fretting a chord here, I can literally play 5, 7, and 12 up from the chord that I'm playing. So if I'm fingering frets 2, then I'm adding 2 to 5, 7, and 12. Does that make sense? So now it would be 7, 9, and 14. And I can play on that string harmonics. R.A. Henson, your lessons, everyone loves. You are an angel sent from above. Aw, R.A., thank you, buddy. So kind. Man, so kind. I appreciate that. Wow. So if I'm holding an A minor chord here, now there's a classical technique and then there's kind of like a heavy metal technique like Eddie Van Halen. But if I'm holding this A minor chord here, then what I can do is at the 12th fret, I can do everything as if I'm playing it 12 frets up. So watch this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold my finger above this fret and I'm gonna pick it with my 3rd finger. Here's the 14th fret, 14, 13, 1st. Okay, And I basically just did the shape of the chord, but just up here. Make sense? So anything you do down here, you could go up 5, 7, or 12 from whatever it is that you're playing. So you'd see Eddie Van Halen do this a lot. He'd be like, he would go like, pretty cool, right? So literally the only thing I'm thinking there is 5 or 7 up. Pretty fun, right? So you pick a note, especially with that overdrive, and I'm also using a Strat, which is not very, if I was using humbuckers now, it'd sound even better. So I'm thinking 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. This is 5 up. I could do 7. You could really have some fun with it, especially when you're overdriving your sound. It's gonna be so much better. Really, isn't that fun stuff? I love it. And so yeah, we could do this on the acoustic as well. Someone's asking, can you do this on the acoustic? I can. So right here. Now I'm not super good at it, but some people are very, very quick at this. You could also tap. So this is something else that Eddie Van Halen did. So we have 5, 7, and 12, and those come out very nicely on the acoustic. Sal, thanks for so much for the donation to help pay the bills. The answer is always to practice, even when you don't want to. Indeed, 100%. That is, right? It's literally like one of the keys to life. Of course you don't want to work out. Of course you don't want to eat right. Of course you don't want to do the right things. Of course we want to be selfish. Of course, all these things. But what we do is we evolve and we become beings that can control our minds, and we can control our bodies, and we can control our urges, and we can be kinder people, and we can do things like this. So yes, and everything comes from practice, whether that's practicing meditation or guitar or kindness or whatever, self-control, working out, what have you, Now, you can work out enough to where it starts becoming fun. You can start eating the right food, practicing to where you start getting so many gains from it that you're like, dude, this is fun. Like, this is encouraging. But at the beginning, sometimes it's harder because we don't really believe it. But once we get into that zone, you know what I'm talking about. Everybody here who's donating and asking these questions, this is testimony, right? This isn't me, this is other people. So other people are finding this too, and you can too. Unless you're a robot. If you're a robot, then you're not going to get this because you can't grow any more than the information that we give you. But if you're not a robot, if you are a being, then you grow, and it's impossible for you not to grow. So any notion of you not growing is some weird thought that you adopted a long time ago, and you need to do away with that because it's just not true. Okay, I feel like there was a question here I was going to ask. Yeah, question with all caps with a question mark would be very helpful. Thank you. Why do the harmonics sound lower on the 12th fret than the 7th or the 5th? Barry, it's just a natural phenomenon of this string. Even if I could give you a mathematical reason why, it would be very, very boring. But I can tell you that that's the very center of the string. And I know that is the most stable harmonic, But I can't tell you why, we'd have to get into some math. And even if I did explain it, it wouldn't be like a aha moment. It'd be like, oh, that sort of thing. It's a good question, though. All right. Ooh, look at this. Sharon Isbin is live today. She's a classical guitar player who credits meditation to her success. I'm telling you guys, I didn't invent this stuff. I'm just all the successful people that I follow, they meditate. All of them. Every single one of them. They meditate. And it's another part of our being that we can get to, or controlling your mind in some way, in a good way, controlling one's own mind, one's own urges and stuff. So I love that she's saying that too. Makes me not feel so crazy because yes, I'm teaching guitar, but then when I mention meditation, I feel like some people go, oh God, here he goes again. It's part of it, right? It really, truly is. Oh, I know what I was going to show you. It's one thing Eddie did. Another thing that he did is he would pick a note and he would do what I'm talking about here, right? He would go. So he picks it, it's singing out, and then he hits the harmonic. But another thing he would do is he would just tap. So he'd go. So this is 5, this is 7, this is 12, and when I'm tapping, it's like a hammer on, but I'm doing it with the right hand, and I'm tapping directly over the fret, not over the place where you would put your finger. So again, when we're tapping, I'm not tapping here, I'm tapping over the fret. Not here where we put our finger, but over the fret. Well, listen to the difference. Here's over the fret marker, here's not over the fret marker. So you can hear a big difference, right? It's got to be over the fret. If you're wondering why it's not sounding good, it's probably that you're not directly over that fret wire, center of the finger, center of the fret, and you want to pick hard, or you want the amount of pressure you're putting on the string is very light, but how hard you're attacking the string is hard. The harder you attack the string and the lighter you touch the string, the more pronounced your harmonic is going to be. Also, if you're running through overdrives and stuff like that, it's going to be even more pronounced. Does that make sense? And that takes a little getting used to, right? Because it's like rubbing your tummy and patting your head. You're doing this really hard and this really light. And at first, people are like, oh God. So it takes a second, slow down a minute. And just really light, hold this, pick hard here, lightly pick your finger up, you're gonna be good. It's gonna sound better, okay? And harmonics are awesome. Everybody's like, man, these are so sweet. Yeah, they really are. They're amazing, and they really help to accentuate what it is that you're doing. It's like just a really cool idea that makes things sound wicked fun, wicked cool, you know? Which pickups does the harmonic sound best? You know, the treble pickups are going to be the ones that are closest to the bridge. In my opinion, they're going to be more pronounced. Oh, good. Rodney thinks he did harmonics for the first time. So harmonics are when we touch a string, right? And it jostles the string, or it basically makes it vibrate in a certain way. So we can do it by tapping, right? But we can also use pinch harmonics, also known as artificial harmonics, but there's nothing artificial about them. They're real harmonics, also called pseudo harmonics. There's nothing pseudo about them. They're real harmonics. It's just that we're doing this with the thumb instead of like the tapping like this. So what you in this case here, you would pick a note, and instead of letting the string play and vibrate as per normal, what you're doing is when you pick the string, it's barely grazing the side of your thumb. Like after you pick it, it's like poop, and it just touches this little part of your thumb, and then you pull your hand away, and then it gets a really cool sound. Okay, and at first, it takes getting it takes practice. So you're not going to get this at first. 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 For those that try this and they're like, I'm not getting this. You're not going to get it at first. That's why we practice. The lower strings and the lower frets are where you're going to get this action out first. If you're on the high E string on the top fret here and you're trying to do it, then you're starting at, you're trying to be your 4th year in college and you haven't been to kindergarten yet. Don't do that. Lower strings, lower frets, okay? Watch this. And so what I'm doing here is I'm picking the string, and even if I show you up close, you're not really going to get it. It would be like me eating a piece of chocolate up close and hoping that you would be able to taste it. You're not going to be able to taste it. But if I'm picking this, right? I'm just letting, instead of picking it out like this, it's hitting my thumb. Okay, it takes some getting used to. You're probably only going to hear that with overdrive. A humbucker pickup is going to sound better than a single coil. It's going to be more harmonic filled. It's going to be a bigger sound, that sort of thing. Okay, and then if you move your finger around like that, it's like doing this, right? So it's different places. A nice bend sounds good with it. And also some sort of vibrato really accentuates it, makes it sound even cooler. Also known as pinch harmonics, pseudo harmonics, squealies, artificial harmonics. I have a video for this on YouTube as well if you search any of those. Search your Guitar Sage Harmonics and I've got more for you on that, okay? Okay, good. ZZ Top did this. Yep. Slayer plays those. Yep. Indeed. Heavy metal is replete with these. All right. Zakk Wylde is the king of these. Zakk Wylde is the absolute king of pinch harmonics. He's just made it his signature and he just does it so well. Yeah, Galaxy is getting a little bit more detailed than what I'm talking about here, but he's saying the resonance or wave traveling on the string best at equal divisions of the length of string, and he's correct there. So at the halfway mark, at the quarter mark, and as you're working out from there, the halfway mark is going to be more resonant than, say, the quarters and what have you. But yeah, he's got it. He's right on there. Pick attack angle is also important for pinch harmonics. It is. Find out what is that works best for you, because everybody's going to do it slightly differently. Okay? Good. Great questions here. Friends, if you have not already, thumb this video up, hit subscribe, and share. Thank you so much. All right. Looking for more questions here. And if I missed yours, I apologize. Thomas is saying, first thumbs down, not answering questions. Am I not answering questions? Thomas? Thomas has the whip out. He's like, do more! You're only going live for 70 hours over the last 40 days. More free! That's Thomas. More free! So what is an artificial harmonic? So we talked about that. That's what that is. What type of pedal am I using? I'm using my Kemper amp, but you know the sound that I'm working with here is a Black Star amp. I told you that's one of my favorite, right? It's one of my favorite amps, and that's the overdrive that we're getting right now. Never understood the difference between overdrive and distortion. They're really the same thing. Overdrive and distortion. It's just sophisticated players like to use overdrive, whereas heavy metal players like to use distortion. And so most, like, the more sophisticated a player is, they like to not use the word distortion, they use the word overdrive. It's true, I'm just being honest here. It's just true. You will hear people say that all the time. Me, I use the OCD, the over compulsive distortion, OCD. I don't care. It's distortion. It's overdrive, whatever you want to call it. But overdrive typically is a little bit more subtle. There is not really a technical difference, but usually you'll find overdrive pedals to not be as they won't distort as much. But an overdrive pedal distorts. It's overdriving the signal. It's distorting the signal. Neil, thank you so much. Did I get another donation from Neil? No, but I did. I swear to God, I just saw another donation come on, didn't I? Am I wrong? Am I crazy? I might be. I probably am anyhow, but okay, no. All right. Eric, do you have a favorite scale? A favorite JJ Cale song. Too many to choose from. I don't, Jason. Not a favorite. Can you do pinch harmonics without a pick on electric or acoustic? I'm not using a pick. But I'm using the same technique, so I'm picking with my nail and I'm still letting it hit my thumb. So yeah, you could, technically. Do you change where and how you hold the pick for the pinch harmonic? Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm doing is I'm doing this. So I'm holding the pick normally like this, and when I do a pinch harmonic, I'm doing that. But here's the deal. This is why I hesitate to tell you stuff like that. Sometimes in UGS program, I can tell people that are self-starters, and I can tell people that need me to walk them, grab their hand and walk them through every single little itsy bitsy tiny step. And unfortunately for that mentality, for that archetype, what I find is that those people are always, they don't trust themselves enough, when really you just got to get out there. So like I can show you to do this, and then people are at home are going to cock their pick up in their hands, and they're going to do this, and they're not going to get the sound, and then they're wondering why, and they're second guessing themselves. This is why I really try to encourage you guys to be your own player, to be your own teacher. Let me help you, but you've got to just get involved, and you got to get out there and try and practice, because you know, the guy who says, I can't go to the gym and work out, look at me, I'm all skin and bones, I can't work out, I don't have the muscles to work out. Well, yeah, you got muscles to carry around during the day. You got to go to the gym, and you've got to condition them, and then as you get stronger, as you lean into that, then the universe will meet you, and you're going to get stronger muscles, and then you're going to have more to work out with. But the excuse of I can't do this, so I'm not going to do it, is a terrible excuse. No. If you can't do it, you try to do it. You lean into it. The universe will meet you and say, oh, you want that. Oh, okay. Let me assist you here, right? But you have to do that. You've got to find that wherewithal. You've got to find that within. If you don't, you're always going to be looking for an answer, and it's not going to come to you because you have to go after that answer. Okay. Once in a while, visit you in Nashville and celebrate a one-on-one lesson with you as soon as possible. Beautiful, Wolfgang. I love it. Why don't you sing anymore? I do sing, but not very often. I do it if I'm teaching a song or something like that. But if you mean like why don't I play out and stuff like that? It's because I'm doing so many lessons now. I'm creating so much content, and I have a studio, and I have folks that I need to pay, and they have families that they need to feed and stuff. So I can't just be Mr. Artist and just kind of go off on a whim and what have you. I have other things that I'm doing right now. Plus, I really, truly love to create programs that help people get to their dreams on guitar. I'm 50 and I don't really have aspirations for being a great artist anymore. I did, and I did some time doing that and the whole 9 yards and played out and all the rest. But those days for me, I'm pretty good with just teaching folks now. I love it. If we change the tuning of our guitar, does the harmonic take place? Yeah, it does. It's in the same places. So your guitar can be at any tuning. It has more to do with the subdivision of the string length. So at any tuning, you're going to find those harmonics in the same place. It's a great question. Can you explain how the compressor or compression works? Does it affect harmonics delivered to be louder? Kind of. If I used a compressor right now, you're not going to hear much of a difference. I would really have to have it hardwired in to where you could hear it directly. You're not going to hear it so much. But yes, essentially what a compressor does is any sounds that are very quiet, it brings it up to a certain threshold. And if it's above that threshold, it's usually like a high and a low threshold. If it's anything above that threshold, it'll bring it down, the volume. If it's anything below a certain threshold, it'll bring it up to the prescribed sandwich there, this prescribed area there. So yes, it will help a little bit with artificial harmonics and what have you, but typically it's just going to make whatever you do louder, make it sustain more and that sort of thing. Does placing an amp on a shelf, three-sided cabinet to save room affect or damage the amp? No, it should not. As long as it can breathe, as long as it can breathe, then yes, it should be fine. It might affect the tone some though. When a guitar amp is on the ground, it typically has a better bass response. Wolfgang, thank you so much for the kind donation, friend. Super, super kind. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, good questions. Oh, loved whiskey in a bottle. Yeah, I did cover that one, didn't I? I love that one. I love that one too, yeah. Or whiskey in a jar. Whiskey in a jar, oh, yeah. It's an old Irish drinking song. Great. Killer, good questions. Better to hang unplaying guitars or seat them in a stand? Better to hang them because kids and animals and stuff like that are less likely, or you or your wife or you or your husband or whatever, less likely to drop them, okay? Nunya, Eric, can you explain scalular, and yes, we spelled it wrong, scacular, scalular practice. I guess I missed it from yesterday. Nunya, I won't go over it again today because we did it yesterday, but essentially it's taking the scale and playing it in different ways. Like for instance, instead of just playing G major straight like this, maybe we would play it 3 notes per string. We also might play it by skipping notes, like 1, 1, 3, 2, 4, etc. We can go backwards too, right? Right? Or we might go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you do that, it's going to give you different ways to play your scale. Good, Nunya. Glad you got that. And I have videos for that as well out there. But yesterday we did cover that in a lot of detail if you want to check that out. Frank, thank you so much. Guy walked into a bar and Red Light are fabulous songs. Tell Miss Pierce. I will tell her. Thank you. Yeah, they're great songs. She's a great gal and a great writer. Yeah, a girl can write a song. Gary's saying, how does it differ from slide guitar? Gary, how does what differ from slide guitar? I'll need more info there, brother. Yes, Esther, Eric. Yes, Eric. Will these month's live videos remain on YouTube, or will they disappear at the end of April? No, Esther. They're going to be up here for you. We're going to leave them up. Okay. Good. All right. So for those of you that are going through the Unstoppable Guitar System, and I'm just kind of helping you guys out here with some questions because I know you guys are many of you are digging into this. What issues are you having inside of UGS Standard? This is the one I'm providing for you guys for free today. So hopefully by day 26 here now, hopefully everybody who hears my voice right now has it, they're either in UGS Pro or they're in UGS Standard. Friend, if you're listening to my voice right now and I'm purposely calling you out and you have not gotten into the Unstoppable Guitar System Standard, and if you want to become a better player, why aren't you in there? Okay, there's probably one of you watching right now who are not, but that one, I got to help you, and the only way I can help you is by guiding you through this. And I have painstakingly created a course for you for free that if you visited me here in Nashville would cost well over $1,000 in time for me to show you the same exact stuff that you can get for free by clicking on a link. It's literally free, okay? If you've seen help from these first 30 lessons, please just write 30. Just put 30 in the chat. Let other folks know. Yes, whether you're in Pro or whether you're in UGS Standard and just did this first 30, just write 30 and let folks know that I'm not joking. This is powerful stuff, and it's absolutely going to help you to understand how to play guitar, because if you don't know that stuff, you can't stack stuff on top of it. Make sense? All right, enough with the preaching. Right? 30 if it helped you, okay? All right, do you have a preference on cables and or patch cables? Yes, I do. I love these Mogami Gold cables. Number one, if they break, I can just bring them straight into the store and they will replace them for free. They have a lifetime warranty. They're expensive. They're like $50, but boy, oh boy, the sound is great on them. Okay, and they're really sturdy. Okay. Frank is saying, should you coordinate the 365 lessons with UGS lessons? Yes. And Frank, I have a video for that. On YouTube, search UGS 365. UGS 365. The very first video that pops up will talk about how to use both of those at the same time. You could think about 365 is you going to the gym, hitting your watch, and it's go time. It's time to work out. There's no like, well, now what does this muscle do? And let's talk about nutrition, man. And let's talk about this and that. No, that's what UGS is. If you're working out, think of UGS as where I'm teaching you about food and I'm teaching you about all these different pieces, teaching you about anatomy and teaching you why it is that you would want to do this particular exercise and everything. You got to learn the theory and all that stuff and why the pieces come together. But 365 is like you hitting the gym and here it is, it's go time, we're practicing. Okay. Now we have practice stuff inside of UGS as well, but I've got to give you some sort of analogy since you're not in it already and you're wondering what's the difference between the two. Okay. The 365 are the exercises that are going to round you out as a player. 7 different exercises over 7 different days. I start you off at the very baby, simple, very basic bits, right? Even some folks are having issues with that. They do it first. Everybody does it first, right? But once they get beyond that first week, then the second week gets a teeny tiny itsy bitsy bit harder. And then I ramp it up 52 times. I tweak up the volume, tweak it up just a little bit to where at the end of 52 weeks, you're playing like a ninja and you didn't even know what happened. You're like, whatever. It didn't even feel like it got any warmer in here, right? It's boiling. Yeah. Yeah, Scott. Scott, yeah, I saw your. We've been on Instagram, right? I remember your meme there, Scott Merritt. I remember that because I grew up in a place called Merritt Island, Merrit. You probably are aware of that place, but that's where I grew up, and I went surfing in Cocoa Beach all the time. So surfing buddy on UGS player as well. Brian Copeland also is a surfer, and we're talking about surfing all the time, but started surfing at 50, now at 53. Beautiful. Love that. Love it, love it, love it. Taking up guitar. If you get into UGS Pro, do you get 365 with it? Yes. If you in UGS Pro, we give you 365. With that, you're off to the races. You've got everything that you'll ever need for guitar. Scott's from the hometown of Neil Peart, which I don't know where that is, but he's Canadian, right? So it has to be someplace in Canada. I think they were, right? Beautiful. Thank you, Brian. Woo. Yeah, it's like working on your car without knowing how a motor works. So that's fine if someone says, okay, this is how you change the oil, right? But if you're like, now hold on a minute. I pulled the plug. Do I put the plug back in? Well, of course you should, right? But if you don't know why that is, that it's important to have oil in the tank when you take off. Reconnecting. 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 All right, we're back. Thanks, YouTube. We are back. Yeah, so it's good to know a little bit about, why it is that you're doing things. Okay? Really, really important. Luke, I love you too. Beautiful. Thank you, buddy. Now, this analogy was ruined by a terrible internet. Yeah, so just it's important to understand the whys. Once you know the whys, you don't have to keep going over it and over it again, but you know why it is that you're doing what you do. Friends, if you're not a why person, I suggest you become a why person, because understanding the whys for anything is really, really important. It helps you to understand why it is that you're doing a particular something, and once you know why, you don't have to go, is this even working? Is working out really working? Is meditating really working? Is practice really working? Yes, 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 and yes. Okay. What are guitar intervals? I've been struggling with it for the past week. Can't find a clear explanation anywhere on the internet. Please help. Rent. Okay, number one, there's a million videos on the internet that will help you with intervals. You just need to search intervals or music intervals. I have a video on it. You can search YourGuitarSage intervals, but better than that, Rent 8105. We talked about dropped out again. Number one, you guys friggin' rule for sticking with me even though this thing has gone down a zillion times. You guys are champs. That means you have that wherewithal in you to keep going. So thank you. And I apologize. I don't know what else to do here. I've got really massive internet here. We did talk about intervals, okay? And even though I'm not finding it on here, I'm sure we talked about it. I know we did. I'm 100% sure we did. We talked about it. Nonetheless, don't worry about that. Link to Rent. Go to Rent 8105. Oh my gosh, the turkeys are out. Look, I'm not joking. The turkeys, they're right in front of my house. Look, watch this. Here they come. Here come the turkeys. Look at them all. What? So Rent 8105. Yes, what you want to do is you want to hit that second link below. Hey baby, the turkeys are here. Get little E. Here they come. These are all girl turkeys, by the way. Look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are, that's 20 feet out in front of my yard. Look at how giant they are. Wow. And that's only 5 of them. A few of them went around the corner there a second ago. So Rent 8105, what you want to do is you want to click on the second link below, and you want to get UGS Standard. It's free for you today, the top 30-something videos that I teach, and one of them in there is intervals. And intervals the distance between notes. So from here to here is a half step. From here to here is a whole step. From the open string to the 12th fret is an octave. From the open string to the 5th fret is a 4th. From the open string to the 7th fret is a 5th. Okay? It has nothing to do with the actual frets. It has to do with this turkey's coming right up to the window. He's looking straight at me. Crazy she. Okay, all right, makes sense? But yes, it's very helpful to know that. They are gonna knock on my door. Thank you, Jerry. Yeah, we have a beautiful neighborhood. I love it here. Mormon turkeys. Why Mormon turkeys? Why? There's a joke there somewhere. No, I do. I just roll with it, Bruce. I know the YouTube. I roll with everything. I try to roll with everything anymore. What genres would you use harmonics for with the acoustic? You could use it with percussive guitar. You could use it with rock. You could use it with classical. You don't use it very often with jazz, but just about anything other. And you could use it with jazz. There's nothing to say you couldn't. You could use it with anything, right? You could use it with anything. All right. Oh, Mormon. Oh, two just ran by so quickly. That's so funny. I get it. Mormon. Okay, got it. String gauge on your Strat. These are 9. No. 9, yes. 9 through 42. 9 through 42. But again, don't worry about what I have. What's right for you, okay? Stevie Ray Vaughan used 13s, and he obviously was a much better player than me. They look like little dinosaurs when they run. Wow. So it doesn't matter what I use. What matters is what you use. What do you like best? And honestly, I mean that. God, there has to be 30 turkeys that just walk by. This is crazy. Tom, thank you for the donation. Can't wait for the 30-day group play. We might drive that bug away with Unstoppable Love. Indeed. So yeah, remind me about that. We're going to perfecting the practice. We're going to play with a jam track. So I'm going to need to have a jam track ready for you guys, and we are going to play together, all of us, okay? And someone mentioned that we may do, what day is the 30th going to be? I don't know off the top of my head, but someone mentioned like that we do yet another broadcast, and we probably will do that depending on what's happening in the world, okay? So Tom, thank you again, $40. Amazing donation, so kind, so generous. Can't wait for the 30-day group play. We're going to do that on day 30, okay? We're going to play with a jam track, and we're all going to be able to jam at the same time. If YouTube doesn't screw us up, we're all going to be able to play it at the same time and not bother each other. How cool will that be, right? Yeah. Okay. Intervals Day was day 19. Thank you. Yes, Interval Day was day 19. So rent. What you could do is you could look for, what we're talking about, 30-day, you could search 30-day guitar challenge, day 19, the second hour. So go about an hour in when we start talking about intervals. I have the whiteboard and everything. But more importantly than that, you're going to get a better representation of intervals inside of UGS Standard, which is the course I'm giving you for free today. Second link below is how to get access to that. Thank you, Galaxy. Where would I be without you guys? So helpful. Okay. Friends, I'm going to be with you yet another 8 minutes. I want to answer your questions. What do you need help with? Is it theory? Is it technique? Gear questions? What can I help you with? Eric, any discounts on YGS Pro for guys who do not have it and want it today? Carrie, yes. If you get into UGS Standard, check that out. We will send you some sort of coupon code, indeed. Yes. And if you are a U.S. vet or you're in the military, if you're in the U.S. military, I offer it for free. So the whole $400 program becomes totally free for you if you're a U.S. vet or military. Search or go to YourGuitarSage.com/veterans for more information about that. Okay. I've got something cooking for you with the EVH guitar. Somebody was just asking, Joe was asking, when are we going to see the EVH guitar? And I went to the office yesterday, I picked it up. We were getting a little stir crazy here, so we drove downtown Nashville, just drove around and In fact, we saw Music Row and like it was totally shut down. Broadway was totally shut down. No one was walking around. We just wanted to see what it looks like, right? So we drove down there and did that, drove back. We picked up the EVH from the office, and I have something special that I'm going to be sharing with you in regards to the EVH that's coming up. I haven't recorded it yet. I'm still working it up, but something really cool, okay? Matt's saying, tips for faster chord changes. Matt, watch my transitions video. It takes about 15-minute explanation to truly get this. So we don't have the time to do it today. But watch that video. It's in UGS Standard. I give that to you for free today. I promise you. If you've had help, if that helped you guys, type in the chat so Matt knows I'm not dorking around with him. Type in the word chord so he knows exactly that what I'm saying is true. UGS Standard, get in that, Matt, and watch that video. It will absolutely help you understand this. All right. Someone's asking G chord progression, question mark. That's a real broad statement. A G chord progression will have the chords, some sort of G chord progression would have, get ready, write it down. G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, F sharp diminished. If you use any one of those chords for G major chord progression, it's going to sound pretty good, especially the G, C, D, and A minor. Those, you can create a lot of different chord progressions with that are just going to sound absolutely amazing, okay? Thank you so much for those that wrote chord, so that that you guys know what we're talking about here. Okay, will do, Matt. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. Yeah, check that out. It will absolutely help with what you're talking about here. It helps with other things as well. So like fretting and riffs and everything else. What was the second way you just played that G major scale? Not the standard way. So, you know, right, the standard way is just staying in one position. Then I did like this 3 notes per scale, which all that is covered in UGS Pro. Right? And then I did like different variations of that, like skipping notes. And then sequences like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Yeah. Okay. RA saying chord progression, where to find what chords go together. So we talked about this. I talk about this in UGS Standard, the course I'm giving you for free today. I talk about it in, let's see, what day? Chord progressions that work well. So we did this several days, but the second hour of day 23, we talked about it. I talk about this all the time. Here are the chords. Write this down. Remember, you can always rewind. You can even pause now on YouTube. So go back to this marker, and here are the chords. In any major key, it goes major, minor, minor, major, major, minor diminished. So major 1. Try that again. Major 1, minor 2, minor 3, major 4, major 5, minor 6, diminished 7, and back to major 1 again. So there's 7 chords, 7 diatonic chords. We can go outside of that, but 99% of the time you won't. And you can do this in any key, any major or minor key you can do this in. Major keys, it's all the same. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. If you're starting from, if you want it to be a minor key, then just start on the 6 and make that your tonal center, and all the chords will remain the same. If you're starting it from the 6, then it would be minor, diminished, major, minor, minor, major, major. But now you have to think about it 2 different ways instead of just thinking about it from the major perspective. Ukulele also, what's a good one? I think you said you have them in your store. I do. There's lots of great ukuleles, just like anything else. There's not a best. There's what can you afford, and then try some different ones out. But the ones in my store are good ones. I don't put cheap ones up there. They're good. They're affordable, but they're not going to be not good. Does that make sense? Eric, why did I think the G minor scale had an F sharp in it? I don't know. It doesn't. The G minor scale does not have an F sharp in it. Okay, how do I find the 3 notes per scale on Pro? I am UGS Pro and I missed it somehow. Well, that's easy to do, Jez. There's like 1,000 something posts between UGS and 365. It's easy enough. Search upper left-hand corner when you're in UGS Pro. Search 3 notes. 3 notes. Okay, and it's 3 notes per string, by the way, or search 3 notes per string. Good. Great. Eric, does a 6-string banjo play just like a guitar? Yeah, if you're talking about a ganjo, it's called a ganjo, if a banjo and a ganjo. All right, hang in there. We're coming back. 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 Here we are. We're back. Yeah, right? Yeah, sure. Okay, good. All right, friends. Somebody's saying about, are we going to, the last day, we're going to talk about meditation and metaphysical stuff. Maybe what I'll do is I'll direct you over to my Eric Andreas channel, because I do have an Eric Andreas channel that I don't use much. I've posted some songs and stuff like that there, but I don't use it very much. And for those that aren't invested in that and they're not interested in that, which everybody should be, but I get it if you're not, whatever, that's fine. No judgment. But for those that want to do that, maybe if we have the time that day, then we'll send you over to the Eric Andreas channel, and then maybe what we'll do is we'll just continue the conversation about things that we wouldn't talk about guitar-wise. We'll talk about everything else, right? I would love to do that, because that stuff really resonates with me, and in fact, it consumes a big part of my day, other than working. Sometimes, indeed. Indeed, one of those days. Yes, thank you so much, Frank. Yes, unbelievable, right? Okay, friends, if you have not done this already, I appreciate you for sticking with me here, even. All right, here we go, friends. Trying to close out. We'll see you guys tomorrow. You know what to do, friends. The second link below is UGS Standard. Get in there for free. And tomorrow, what are we talking about? Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about workouts for your hand without a guitar, and also finger picking. If you want to know about finger picking, join me tomorrow. My friends, thank you so much for the beautiful donations today. You guys, so amazing. Great questions, great support.